Okay, so now we are going to discuss how you can host this React application on GitHub pages, right? So see here, this application we created in the morning session. This is advice application, right? This is a React application, and we are going to host this on GitHub pages. It's very easy to host applications on GitHub pages, right? You can also explain this approach to your students, right? So that whatever they build for practice, they can just host it and they can, mention it in their portfolio, right? And they can showcase it to others, right? So that is the reason we are including this particular approach also, right? So this is our React application, right? Now, GitHub has a feature called as GitHub Pages, right? Right. Again, we are using cloud solution only, but this time not of Azure, of GitHub Pages, right? So if you go to GitHub, and yes, regarding this application, .NET application, it is now hosted. See, it is now hosted. Actually, I tried uh, after 30-45 minutes. Uh, with the same configuration that we were doing, so this time it is deployed, right? Sometimes it happens, it shows some issue related to resource group, but there was no issue. I just retried and I successfully deployed this. See, this is the link. This is the domain. If I try to open this, let's see if the content is loaded or yes, content is also loaded. See, this is the .NET application that I hosted. This is some basic HTML. Basically, this is a simple uh, basic code of .NET, right? Which has some front end, some HTML and backend code, right? So this is how you can use web app service, right? But now let's see GitHub pages. So see, this is my GitHub, right? I'll go to my home page, github.com, right? So you will be landed on this screen, right? Now here we'll create first a new repository, right? We want to host this on GitHub pages, right? So for that, I can click on new. I will just create the new repository and let's name this maybe FDP advice app, something like this. Okay. And I will create this repository. Okay, repository is created. Now, again, we need to paste the same commands on our terminal of this advice application, right? But if you see, the Git is already initialized using create React app, right? Remember when we were installing this with create React app, Git was already initialized. So some of the lines we can skip. For example, Git init, that we can skip. We can directly start from Git add from here. But before we do this, before we upload our code on the GitHub, I want to first complete this application. This application is completed, but we haven't yet configured this for GitHub pages, right? See, here on GitHub, there is one service called as GitHub pages. Let me show you that. So for example, I'm here in admin UI. Okay, I'm in this particular repository. If you go to settings, you can see there is one option called as pages. This is the cloud solution that GitHub provides to host our application. Right? Either you can use this GUI to host your application, but we are going to do this with terminal, right? So first thing, what we need to do, we need to configure this React application so that GitHub pages can accept it. Right, so very small configuration is there. First thing is we need to download a package. We need to install a package, and the package is GitHub pages. Right, so I will write npm install gh-pages. I'll also share this in the chat. So what I write, npm install GitHub pages, and I will write hyphen hyphen save dev, because I just want GitHub pages package in the development. I don't want this in the production, right? So I wrote hyphen hyphen save dev. So I'll just copy this and I will paste it in your chat. And regarding Azure subscription, let me share the link with you. Okay, I'll share it in some time. So those who did not provide their Outlook credentials yesterday, they can provide today if they want to practice. And regarding Azure subscription, so I'll just confirm it once with the team and I'll let you know. Okay, even I'm not sure about this timeline. Vidhi, you have
Yes.
any idea?
So, yeah, so the subscription will be valid till 20 days.
Okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. Let's move ahead. Okay, so let's install GitHub pages, right? And then we need to do some configuration in the package.json, but let it first complete. So yes, GitHub pages is installed successfully. Now we'll go to package.json, right? Now here we need to add 3 lines. See, I'll also share it. There's 3 lines in the chat. These 3 lines you need to add. Where you need to add and what it is doing, let's see, right? So the first thing is homepage, right? So here basically we write the GitHub URL. If we use GUI based hosting directly from GitHub, then we don't need this. But we are doing it from terminal. So we need to write this. So here I will write this at the first line, at the very first line. Okay. You can write it anywhere basically, but let's write it on the top homepage, right? Now replace username with your GitHub username and replace repo name with the repo that we created. Okay. So I will replace username by my username, which is Jayabani, and repo that we just created on GitHub. It was FDP advice app. This is the repo that we created. Now we need to also add two script. If you scroll down, you can see script object, right? So we need to add two more script here. And those script I already shared in the chat. These are those two scripts. One is pre-deploy and other one is deploy. So I will add those two scripts as well. Yes, like this. Okay. So now every configuration thing is done. We don't need to do anything more. Now we just need to upload this on the GitHub, right? And we just need to run one command. Okay. So I think someone is on unmute. Urvashi ma'am. Let me. Okay. So now I will upload everything on the GitHub, right? So let's copy paste this command. So git init not required, git add. And again, git add dot we will write instead of git add readme because we want to add everything. Okay, and regarding this configuration, if you want, I can repeat again. We first added this line, homepage. This is nothing but the URL of our application. This will be the URL. Okay. Then we added two script, right? Because we want to deploy, we will run one command, npm run deploy. If you don't want to use that shortcut command, you can directly run this command also, but we'll use that shortcut command, npm run deploy. That's why we added this script. Okay, but you can directly give this to student that you need to do this, right? Because if you explain them in detail, then they might get confused, right? That is not the point. The point is to host the websites, and for that you need to include two script. That's all you can say them, right? Okay. So git add is done. Let's make the commit. Commit is also done. Let's change the branch. Let's connect this with GitHub repo. That is also done. And let's finally push everything. Okay. Now it is pushed. So if you refresh this, see, my project is now on GitHub. Okay, we just uploaded it to GitHub. We haven't yet hosted it, right? Now to host it, we can write the command npm run deploy. Why we can write this command? Because we added this script. If we don't add this script, you can directly write this ghpages -d build command. But for everything, we prefer writing this script. What is this script? Script is nothing but a package. If you see here, there should be React script. See, this package is installed, and this is installed with create React app. Why we are able to write npm start? Because there is a script added for this, right? See, the start script is added. And how you can run this script? You can write npm run and then name of the script, right? But for npm start, it is default. If it is basically even more shortcut kind of thing. You can directly write npm start instead of npm run start. There are 2 3 commands for which you can directly write it like that, but for others you need to write npm run and then name of the script. So for our case, we will write npm run deploy. Let me also paste this command in the chat. Package.json contains details about our project. See, it has all the dependencies. And remember, we downloaded the GitHub pages dependency as well, but it is not showing here. Why? Because that was a development dependency. Remember, I wrote hyphen hyphen save dev. That means you can use this dependency in the development phase only. So it is not included in the dependency section, but it is included in the dev dependency section. See, under dev dependency, you can find GitHub pages. Right, so it has all the details about browser, this script, about project. You can see the version of your project, you can see name of your project, right? Everything will be here. And this file is very important. Why? Because see, which folder has the highest size in our repo, in our folder? Node module folder, right? It because all the modules are stored here, right? So what do you think? Is it ideal to upload node module folder on the GitHub? No, otherwise it will take so much time, and that is also not a good practice. So what we can do before we, upload this, or before we share this code with anyone, we delete node module folder. And because of that, this package.json file comes into very handy, you can say, because what happens, you can install all the dependencies. You can again generate this node modules folder using one command called as npm install. But for this, you need package.json, because here in package.json, each and every packages are listed, right? So whatever packages that are listed here, that will be downloaded and will be stored under node modules. That is why this file is very much important. And regarding package.log.json, so it has more information about versioning, right? Here you can see there are only 3 4 packages that we can see, but internally they are using so many packages. That is why node module has, see, so many things, right? So if you want details about them, if you want details, even more details regarding versioning, so all those things you can find it in the package log.json. See, it's a very huge file. Okay, that is what the package.json file is. Fine. So now I will deploy this. So I will write npm run deploy. Okay, now it again takes 1 minute, but GitHub pages is very fast. It will host our application within maximum 2 3 minutes. Okay, here you will see successfully published message if it is successful operation. Yes, it is published. So where is the link? Where is the link? It is not actually hosted yet. Let's check. Let's check. So here, this is our repository, right? Here, go to settings. Go to settings, go to pages. On the left hand side, you can see pages. Go to pages. And here you will find the link, but it is not yet hosted. That is why we cannot see any link yet. You can keep on refreshing after every 1 minute and you will find the link. Okay. Right now I refreshed, nothing is showing up. So I'll wait for 1 minute. Then I will refresh again. Okay, let's wait for a minute. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, please do ask. It has to be modified or will it automatically credited? We don't need to modify package.json. Regarding dependency, at least we don't modify it. It gets updated by itself. When you install any new package, it gets updated there, right? So regarding those things, you generally don't modify it, but yes, if you want, you can. Clear? Let me try again. Yes, my website is live at this particular page. See this URL I'm getting. See, website is live. Let's visit this and see my website is hosted now. If I refresh this, I'll get the new advice. And see here, I can see you read one advice. Remember, in development, there were two advice which were showing, right? On refreshing the page on the very first visit, there were two advice. But I told you that in production, this will not happen. Remember? So now we are in production. Now we hosted our application. So this is not happening now. See, right? That strict mode was specific to development phase. It has nothing to do with production phase. That is why we are not getting two here, right? Our component is not rendering twice. It is rendering once only. And if I click on get advice, of course, it will be updated to 2 and so on, 3, 4, 5. Clear how we can host the application, the React application using GitHub pages. You can share this approach with your students, right? So that whatever work they do, they can just host everything. It is completely free solution, right? Okay, so that was all I wanted to cover under cloud computing, right? We still have 10 minutes. So I was talking about client side rendering, server side rendering, static website, dynamic website. Remember, I told you that if we get some time, we'll definitely discuss this. So we have 10 minutes. So let's discuss that, right? It will clear so many doubts of you regarding this client side, server side and all. Okay. So I'll just open the whiteboard. Yeah. Now, let's clearly understand the difference between static and dynamic website. Static and dynamic website. And let's start with static. Let's start with static. So I'll divide like this. The left side will be client and right side will be server. Okay. Or let's make it simple. This side will keep the browser things and this side that's a server. Okay. Now see, in static website, what happens is you just put your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file on the server. You just put your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript file on the server, and you share it with browser. This is browser. And browser finally display it on the screen. This is what the static website is, right? So on every request, the meaning of static means on every request, you are going to get the same data. You are going to get the same page, not data. You are going to get the same HTML page on every request, right? For example, if I am requesting, I will get the page. If you are requesting, you will get the same page, right? Based on user or based on user action, the page is not going to change, right? For example, LMS. So your LMS and my LMS is different, but we are hitting the same URL. So that is not a static website, right? Static means on every request, you should be getting the same page. That is what the static website means, right? Now, this is not the only thing about static, but let's discuss dynamic and then it will be more clear, right? You will add some more things to static also. So let's discuss dynamic now. Again, left side will be the server and right side will be the client. Okay, so this is browser. This is browser. Now, see, for dynamic website, what happens is on every request based on user authentication or based on user action, the page should change. The data should change on the page, right? That is what is called as dynamic. In static, page does not changes. There is no user action kind of thing, right? Nothing like that. But in dynamic, on every request, there can be different page. That is what dynamic means. There can be different page. So what happens is on server side, we have one database. On server side, we have one database. From this database, we'll get the data. From this database, we will get the data, right? And based on this data, based on this data, we will build the website. Based on this data, we'll build the website. We'll build website. How will build website? Obviously, there will be some templates. So based on templates, we'll build the website. So on the server side, see, this is right hand side is the client side. All these things we are doing it on the server side. On the server, we are doing this, right? And finally, website is built. So I will send it to browser. And finally, browser will display it on the screen, right? So see here, what is happening is on the server side, we are building the website. Understand the difference? On the server side, we are building the website, right? And based on request, according to the request, it will get the data. It will get the data. And for each data, there will be different website. That's why my LMS is different and your LMS is different, right? Even if we are hitting the same URL, right? So based on user permissions, based on user actions, right, there will be different data, and different data means different website. In static, we were not building any kind of website. We were just putting HTML, CSS, JavaScript file, and we were serving that. That is all static website means, right? But in dynamic website, this is not the case. We build the website based on the data, and each time data will be different. So website will be different. Website content will be different. That is what dynamic website is. But this kind of approach of creating dynamic website is called as server-side rendering. This is called as server-side rendering. Why server-side rendering? Because we are creating content of website on the server side. See this, after this, we have client side. Where we are building the website? Left side. Left side is the server side, right? That is why this is called as server side rendering. Okay, now you'll get the clear picture of what exactly dynamic is, right? We just think that if we add some effects, if we add some animation in JavaScript, that is dynamic. No, if we are just talking in the context of front end, then it can be true. Then it is true. But on a lower level, on a full stack level, that is not 100% true. JavaScript is not equal to dynamic, right? This is what the dynamic is. Now there is one more way you can create dynamic website. This approach was server side rendering. There is one more approach, which is client side rendering. And the client side rendering approach we used today also for advice application, right? So let me discuss that also. So dynamic again, left hand side will be the server side. So again, there will be database. Database will always be on the server side. So this is my database. Data I'll get from database. Okay. Now, what I was doing previously, based on this data, I was creating website. But here I will not create website. Here I will not create website. Instead, I will create API. Instead, I will create API. So I created API. And now to browser, I will send this API. This is my browser. Earlier in this approach, we were sending website to browser, but here we are sending API to browser. Okay, based on the data, based on the request from this data, we'll create API, right? And we give API to browser. Okay, then basically client side, right? So instead of writing browser here, let me find eraser and let me add one more thing here. So what we do on the client side, we received API, right? We received API. Now, before giving API to browser, what we can do? We can generate web page. We can generate a website on the client side. We received API to the client. Now here what we'll do, we'll build the website. Here we will build the website, of course, using some templates. And now our website is ready. Now let's give it to browser and finally browser will display it on the screen. You understood the difference? We only created API on the server side. We send API to client side and at client side we are building the website. Here on server side we were building the website. That is the difference, right? And the second approach, this approach, API approach is faster. And this approach is called as client side rendering. This approach is called as client side rendering. Remember advanced application, we used API. So we got API and rest everything we did on the client side. And how client side rendering is, you know, is made possible because of frameworks like React and Angular, right? So today also we did the same thing. We got API and we built a website on the client side, right? Single page applications is possible because of this approach only, right? Because everything we are doing on the client side now. That is why applications are faster. And these days, client-side rendering is more popular. That is why React is more popular. And that is why front-end developer role is more popular. Because we are building website now on the client side, which is the job of front-end developer. What backend developer will do? Backend team will provide you API. Just how we got advice API. Let's assume that we got it from backend team. Understood? The picture is clear now, all of you? Or any doubts? Template is nothing but the structure. You can say the structure, right? For example, you created one HTML structure, you created one component basically, right? But each time with different data, you will update that component. Okay. For my case, let's say in my profile, there will be my name. For your case, there will be your name, right? But the structure is same. Template is same. The data is different. That is what the template is, right? So we get the data with API. We use template and we just update our website. Okay. How to create API? We can use any solution. I think we already did this with Java. Right? You can create API using any backend language. You can either go with Java, you can either go with Python. If you want to continue with JavaScript, you can create APIs with Node.js, with JavaScript also. Right? But it's always a good practice to use a framework. All companies use is a framework. Right? If you want to do it with JavaScript, you use Express. Right? Node.js is not a framework, it is just a runtime. You use Express. If you want to create API using Java, you go with Spring and Spring Boot. Right? If you want with Python, you go with Flask, Django. Right? And to get better understanding, what you can do, you can just go through the recording of Spring session. Right? I think it was the third day, day 3, where we discussed about Java backend only. Okay. So for better understanding and for detailed understanding, you can go through that and you can reach out to us in case you find any doubts. Okay. Yes, sure. I can repeat dynamic and static. I can repeat dynamic and static. So see, in static, we just serve a fixed HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. There is nothing else, right? And yes, if you add some animation, some basic effect, you can call it as static. Remember, I told you that on lower level, JavaScript does not mean dynamic, right? So here, if you are writing JavaScript and if you are writing some effects and all, you can still call it static, right? Because the page is static itself. It is not changing. It will never change, right? And if you add more and more effects and animations, and the data is changing, and or if the applications are more becoming more and more complex nowadays, that is why we call them web application. We shifted from website to web applications, right? Because the dynamic content is increasing day by day on websites, right? Now on static, this is just a fixed HTML page that you are going to render all the time. That is what the static means. But in dynamic, based on data, you create a website. That is what dynamic means. So with different data, different website will be generated. That is what the exact meaning of dynamic, right? And there are two approaches in dynamic. One is server side and second is client side, right? In server side, what you do, you create database. Of course, there's one database from where you are getting the data. Now, for each request, there will be different data. Of course, for each request, there will be different data, right? Because user are different, maybe user actions are different, right? So based on the data, you build the website on the server side, right? Using, of course, some templates. And this website, you send it to browser, and browser paints it on the screen. And in case of API powered website, right, the second way of creating dynamic website, which is client side rendering, that means you just create API on the backend side. Now API is generally JSON. JSON is just looks like JavaScript object. It is not actually an object, JavaScript object, but it just looks like that, right? Which has key value pairs, which is represented by curly braces. We saw one JSON example, right? So basically, you create a JSON file. API can be anything. It can be just a single variable, just a single string, array. It can be anything. But generally, it is JSON response. When we talk about API, most of the cases it will be JSON only, right? So we create JSON, right? And we send this JSON, this API to client, right? And at the client side, we build our website and we finally paint it on the screen. Browser paints it on the screen. Is it clear now? Any other doubts? Anyone? Okay, fine. So in API-based dynamic website, majority of work happens in client side. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That is why you can see front-end developers are in more demand. There are more roles in front-end development, right? Because now you can do a lot of things which you used to do on server side. Now you can do it on the client side only, right? Routing and everything. Earlier we used to do it on the server side, but now we can do on the client side. Yes. Okay, fine. So that was all about today's session, right? Last day of FDP. Now we have some crucial updates, instructions for you, right? Regarding certification, regarding assessments, right? So Vidhi ma'am will share all those updates with you. Vidhi ma'am, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Jai sir, for sharing such a wonderful session on cloud computing and React.js. And now I just want to inform all the participants that in the chat box we have shared the attendance link for this afternoon session. So I request everyone, first of all, to please mark your presence in this Google form, right? And then we will continue with the other parts. But before that, I just request everyone to please mark your presence for the afternoon session. We are just going to wait for 2 minutes over here and then we will continue with the things.
Okay, before we move ahead, we have one doubt, which is faster to develop API-based dynamic website or server-side rendered website. So it is, we can say, if we talk about, faster means we can say client-side rendering is faster, right? Because on client side, we have frameworks like React, right? React and Angular. So yes, client side will be faster. Yes, in development also faster, and in production to access the website, which is also faster in case of client side rendering. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yes, Vidima, we can continue.
So I request all the participants to please mark your presence in the Google form. I'll just wait for 1 minute and then we will continue with the other things. Now we are going to share with you the assessment regarding information and the certificate regarding information. After that, we are also going to share the cascade program information with you. Yes, thank you, Sumedha ma'am, for confirming. Yes, thank you, Urvashi ma'am. Yes, thank you so much, Vidyashri ma'am, for sharing the feedback with us. Thank you so much. Yes, as I can see, lots of people have replied that they are done with the attendance part. So now I would like to request everyone to please turn on your camera so that I can click the group photograph and then we can move ahead for the important details regarding the certification and the assessment. Yes, Professor S.H. Chavan, sir or ma'am, for any doubt, for any communication, you can also write in the WhatsApp group, right? We are there only. And if you still have any doubt or any query, so you can write the queries in the WhatsApp group and we will be giving you the answer in that. Yes, great to see you, everyone. It's nice meeting you all. Yes, I request smile, everyone. Okay, great. I have clicked the photograph and now you guys can turn off your camera. So now let's just move ahead with the other discussion. Right. So the main thing which you all want to know from our side is regarding the assessment part, right? So the thing is that let me share my screen for that. So as we have completed our 5 days FDP today, right? So all technical sessions we have completed. All the recorded sessions are already available on LMS, right? So now it's time for the assessment. So this assessment is going to be available on LMS only. So what you need to do, whatever the mail ID with which you have done the registration, and I have already shared this mail ID details with you in the WhatsApp group. Those whose account we have created and added into the batch. So with the help of that mail ID, you just need to log into your LMS account, and in the LMS, you will be able to see the assessment module in the left hand side. Whenever you will click on that assessment module, you will be able to see the assessment name. Then you will be able to see the time, the duration of the assessment, and attempt option and the feedback option. There's 4 things you will be able to see in this assessment module. Name of the assessment will be the final assessment on applied cloud computing for full stack web development. This whole name will be written as the assessment name. 60 minutes will be provided. 60 minutes will be provided to you for completing your assessment part. And in the attempt option, you will be able to see attempt now. but this attempt now will be striked off. Okay. Why it is striked? Because before submitting the assessment, you need to submit the feedback. So first of all, you need to click on submit feedback. Okay, once you will click on the submit feedback, you need to you need to give the feedback over there. And then if you will see, then this attempt now option will be available for you. The strike line will be gone and you will be able to attempt this assessment. In the assessment, all the questions will be of MCQ type. There will be 40 questions. So for completing this 40 question, you will get 60 minutes. So once you will click on the attempt now, you will get only one attempt. That is within that particular time period only, you need to complete this 40 questions. There is no negative marking. Okay, there is no such negative marking. So whatever the answer you feel that is correct, you can tick that particular answer. Fine. And for getting the completion certificate out of this 40 question, you need to give the correct answer of at least 20 or 21, 50 or more than 50%. Right? So this is the case, right? The mainly two criterias are there for getting the certificate. One is your attendance, that should be more than 60%, and another is you need to complete your final assessment with more than 50%. If you are achieving or you are fulfilling both the criteria, then and only then you will receive the completion certificate. Right? You will receive the completion certificate. And that certificate is also going to be available on LMS only. Now, how when you will get your certificate? After completion of this FDP within 15 days. It will take 15 days. Within 15 days, you will receive your certificate on LMS. Whenever these certificates will be live on the LMS, we will put one message on the WhatsApp group. After that, you can check your LMS and you can download your certificate. Because of some reasons, if you are not able to score more than 50%, in that case, as we understand that you are regularly attending the session, so if your attendance will be more than 60% and if you are not able to score more than 50% in the assessment, then also we will be going to provide you the participation certificate. So either you can receive completion certificate or you can receive the participation certificate. These are the two criteria, and those criteria are also mentioned on your LMS dashboard. So whenever you will log into your LMS portal, in that portal on the dashboard, you will be able to see this certification criteria as well, right? Now, the another thing, as today only we are completing our technical sessions and everything, so you require some time to practice. We understand that. So that is why your assessment will be available for 4 days, right? So if we will consider it is available from today, so it is going to remain available from 13, 14, 15 and 16, right? 17 will be the last day. You can consider 5 days, right? You can consider for 5 days, right? So on 17th of January, because we know in between we have some festivals as well, right? So 17th January 2024 midnight, that is the deadline for completing your assessment. You have 5 days to complete this assessment, right? This assessment will be live for 5 days. And whenever you feel that you are available for 1 hour and you are ready with all the concepts and you want to give the exam, at that time you can open your assessment and you can give the exam, right? This is going to be remain open till 17th January till midnight. Okay, till midnight you can be able to give your assessment. I hope how to give assessment, where it will be available, for how much longer time it will be available, and when you will receive this certificate, all these things are clear to you. If you have any doubt regarding this assessment, then please feel free to ask me. Yes, any doubt, anything regarding the assessment? participants. I hope these things are clear to you that how you will be able to see the assessment. Yes, it is active now, Kiran sir. Your LMS is available on your LMS. Your assessment is available on your LMS. It is right now active and it is going to remain active till 17th January midnight. Yes. Yes, sure, Sudha ma'am. I will share this LMS link with you in the WhatsApp group. Also, I will share, and right now in this chat box also, I am sharing this LMS link to you, so you can try to log in your LMS account. Yes, Pranjali Deshmukh ma'am. Also, the thing is that whenever you will open your assessment, first of all, you need to submit your feedback. Once you will submit your feedback, after that you will be able to attempt or you will be able to click on the attempt now. Okay. Uh, Praveena ma'am, it is this the assessment is not for only this session. This is for the whole FDP. That is the final assessment that you can give whenever you feel that you are ready for giving the assessment. So that you can give, right? So I think there is no much questions. So I would now like to hand over the session to Atanu sir, right? So he is here with us. He is from the management team and he is going to discuss regarding the Cascade program, which we are offering to the students because we believe that as a faculty, whatever the knowledge we are having, the same we should inculcate into our students as well. So how we can provide benefits to our students, all those regarding information is going to be shared by Atanu sir. So I would like to invite sir over here and let him just share the details that how what is the Cascade program and how the student can get the benefit from that.
Hi, good afternoon. And I was going through the messages in the chat box. I am so happy that all of you have enjoyed this learning journey, and that is most important for all of us. That you know, you all are respected faculty members, and all are super occupied. We understand academics, exams, schedules and other things, allow, I mean, apart from those also you take out time and completed the entire FDP. It means a lot. And I always keep saying that, you know, uh, the first step is willingness of learning. And when you register yourself, it means that you are on that first stage. Uh, the beautiful thing of this faculty development program is this takes us some faculty development program. It's an relationship. You know, it's a relationship for a long time. The LMS credential that you people got will never expire. So you can go back, check the recordings, check the study material any point of time whenever you are facing any issue or you forget any main thing and others. Second thing is the main purpose of this Take Saksam FDP, when this FDP has been designed. And as you all know, that Take Saksam is a program of CSR of Microsoft and SAP. So when this is designed, the main purpose is to enable the faculty members, obviously, but the purpose was much more larger, you know, to take this knowledge into the classrooms, you know, take all the new learning, new technologies to classroom and to students. Because at at the end we all are working for our student. Even if you are learning new technologies, you are learning because you wanted to empower your student in your classrooms, right? So we also wanted to do that. And to make it more convenient for all of you, what we have done is we have created a student persona for but you got in LMS assessment course and all other things. We have created similar kind of persona for our students also, and student can get it completely free of cost. So what and how you need to do it, for that I request Kaval, if you can please take us through, and then if we have any question and all, we can ask. Uh, 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 is it sounding interesting that it is not about learning your learning, but we are offering it to your students also? Is it sounding interesting? Would you like to take it to your students?
Yes, faculty
Yes,
member.
no.
Any
Yeah.
Yes.
reaction would be like appropriate for us.
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you very much. It's free of cost, sir, ma'am. So, like, we do not charge any money for anything, for the courses of the students or any other benefits. So, again, it's a CSR, so entirely free of cost.
Yes. So, you people are using LMS. Similarly, we provide the same platform for students also. And I'm showing you how the platform works. How to go there, we'll discuss a little later. So, this is a student dashboard. Like in your LMS, you can see there are many more tabs of recordings and other things. But for students, this is the dashboard. Once student register, they will land into this kind of dashboards, right? And they can see only one course at the beginning, that is information course on generative AI. We have almost 22 more courses, but as you know, this is an era of AI, so we want all the students to complete this particular course first and then go back to the next course. How this work is, once they log in, they just need to click on enroll now. Once they click on enroll now, then you can see they can see the course. There is a view button. As this is a test account, so I mean they can look into the learning materials. You can see it. These are the PDF versions are there. They can go through, they can read it, and they can attempt the assessment. So as an a test account, I'm just attempting the assessment. Similarly, you also need to attempt your assessment. This will be same kind of MCQs and other things. I'm just randomly clicking, but students are expected to put the right answer. Yes, and this is how I will come. Once I complete the course and then go to the assessment, then if I go to my dashboard, you can see as I have completed this particular Gen AI course, there are some other courses, those were unlocked. And all these courses are related to AI, cloud computing, FSWD, all these courses are there. These are small capsule modules, 2 to 3 hours of program are there. Student can enroll into any of the courses. You can see, just click on enroll, and then they can go into that course and can click on that course. There are study materials. Sorry, I clicked this GenAI course only. I mean, also you can see that understanding cloud modern application. I'll click on view course. I can go into the learning module. Here in this course, there are 4 learning modules. I'll click that. All are having audio, video content. You know. So once they complete, again they need to attempt assessment to get certificate. Once they complete one particular course and you know uh, successfully completed the assessment, they will get their certificate also. Like in GenAI, I have completed the I completed the assessment. So I can click on download certificate. And once I'm downloading the certificate, it is getting downloaded with the name and all other things that are having Microsoft, SAP, TechSuccess, all these logo and their signatories, because the certificate itself values a lot. So uh, along with that, after completion and after downloading the certificate, students are getting opportunity to learn from LinkedIn learnings. So there is a pop-up that is coming up and they need to click over here. So once they click, you know they are getting all these free courses in LinkedIn learning. So if I summarize, this Take Success LMS platform that we have created for students are giving an opportunity to learn, to get certified, and also given access to LinkedIn learning free courses. And once a student complete one particular course, then they will get an option of apply job button over here. So then what will happen is all the job that we post from backend will be visible to them. They can see the JD, jobs, location, salary, and other things, and then they can apply for those jobs, internship. And once we receive that applications, we evaluate them and then do the needful for their interview and other things. So this is a whole platform where students are getting, you know, uh, knowledge, certification, then access and window to go to LinkedIn free courses and job option as well as. And as Kamal ma'am was sharing, the entire thing is completely free of cost. And now coming to your role and responsibility, we just need that you spread out this information to students, and we'll be sharing the registration link with you. We'll be sharing a registration link where student need to register with some basic details like name, email ID, contact number and all, and can start accessing this portal. Once they register this particular form, once they fill that particular form, they will land into this kind of dashboards, and then they can learn courses. So there is no limitation of year, there is no limitation of male, female, there is no limitation of streams, there is no limitation of any number of courses. They can do all the courses, they can do one course, that's up to them. So this is about Take Success LMS for students, and it is a self-paced learning. So student can do it in their own convenient time, while working in the, I mean, while going to college, while returning back to college. This can be accessible from mobile. So student can pursue these courses as per their own convenient time apart from their regular studies. Great. So I'll take a pause over here, and I'll uh, look for any query question if anybody are having. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Anyone who other than student can also do. Yes, anybody can do. The student from your college, from any other college, you can share this with your colleague or anybody who is working in any other college. Anybody can do it. Yes.
Hello.
So what we
Excuse me, sir.
request? Yes. Yes, sir.
Sir, can you provide these types of posts for faculty members? Free post?
Uh, I mean, see, you people are already having an account in LMS, right? So what I request you is to do is, because see, we, as it is a CSR program, so we have certain limitations, right? We cannot provide, these are the courses which are meant for student. But as a shortcut, what I can suggest you is to you can register as a student and pursue the courses.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So I'll be sharing the link, and I'll be sharing this in your WhatsApp as well as WhatsApp group as well as you just need to circulate it among students with the information that we are sharing. And we will also be sharing a document which is like onboarding document which can student refer to whatever I have said, so that student can refer that document and reach to LMS and complete the course. Yes, it is said Gen AI course manual, and I'll share it across over here or in the chat box as well as so that you can share it among your students. That is having like step by step processes of yes. Along with that, we can also conduct one small orientation session if you wish with your students for 1 hour. And one that 1 hour will normally conduct 30-40 minutes training of AI and then onboard them into LMS and get this assessment done and certification and everything. So we are okay to do that as well as in case if you wish us to conduct um, any session. Any question from anyone? Kawal ma'am, anything you wanted to add?
Atanu sir, I think you have covered almost everything. So we encourage all the faculty members to please cascade this to our students so that, through the program, we should be able to reach out to maximum students and everybody should be benefited through this since it's a CSR by Microsoft and SAP and there are courses which are available for the students as well. So we really want you to please circulate this link, the registration link with the students so that they can register and they should be able to access these courses on our LMS. And I think rest of the part, Atanu sir, you have already covered. So if faculty members, you have any doubts for us, please let us know.
Yes. So we'll be sharing this information through WhatsApp and through this channel as well as so you can share it with your students and anybody who whom you want this benefit to be added. Any other question? Any query from anyone? Yes. Yes. Makaran sir, Vidhi ma'am has always, very proactive in solving LMS queries. So she has already mentioned that you are already in the batch and you can log in and you just try to log in and get the access. I was just trying that. Okay, so if there is no other question, then probably we can mm, say a bye to all of you. It was lovely to be here with this learning journey. We will be still there in the WhatsApp group. We'll be solving your queries. I request all of you to complete your assessment and get your certification. All the best for your upcoming assessment. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Atanu sir, for sharing the Cascade program information with us. And I again want to ask participants that if you face any problem, is anything, then please feel free to ask us. Today is the last day of our FTP. So this is the last time we are meeting face to face in this session mode, right? Otherwise, we are always be in a touch in the WhatsApp group. That's not a problem. But still, if you have any doubt, any query, any questions, then please feel free to ask. And LMS related information and this assessment related information, I have already messaged you in the WhatsApp group. So you guys can go through with that message. In that, all the details I have shared. I have also provided the LMS link as well as the default password. If you have changed your password, then you need to make sure that you remember your password, right? Because otherwise, I need to ask to the technical team and it will take a little bit longer time to reset your password and everything. But otherwise, the default password, if you are keeping, then that will be the same only. That is at the rate 1234, where T is in a capital. Yes, so I thank all the participants for joining for this FDP. Thank you so much. And we'll meet again soon with some other interesting FDPs also in the upcoming year. Thank you so
Yes.
much, everyone.
Thank you, Vidhi ma'am.
Yes.
And Vidhi ma'am, Madhvi ma'am, she is about to give us vote of thanks. So
Okay.
over to you, Madhvi ma'am.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. It's my privilege to deliver vote of thanks now. First of all, I would like to express gratitude towards Vidhi ma'am, Jai sir, and whole education foundation team for delivering such an informative session for us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, and whole team. Again, also, I would like to extend my gratitude towards our chief patron, Professor M.N. Nole sir, founder president STES Pune, Dr. Sunanda M. Nole ma'am, founder secretary STES Pune, then Dr. Rohit M. Nole sir, vice president HR STS Pune, again Mrs. Prajna vice admin STS Pune. Also, I would like to thank Dr. S.D. Lokhande sir, principal SCOE Pune, Dr. Y.P. Reddy sir, vice principal SCOE, then Dr. S.R. Gonokar sir, HOD IT department. Also, again, last but not the least, I would like to thanks all the participants who are enthusiastically participated in the FDP session. Thanks everyone, and thanks whole Education Edunet Foundation team for organizing such type of events. Thank you. Yes, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
ma'am.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
So we'll
Thank
take
you,
a
everyone.
yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.